controller time. Controller. I barely know her. Alright, you guys can leave now. Unless you want to learn how to take apart model 1708 controller. I just pulled this back, but just for fair warning, this voids your warranty. But this guy I bought as a lot off of eBay. Several controllers. It's a good way to go about it if you know how to replace this stuff. But you know, it doesn't take much, but a simple little joystick repair to fix stick drift. No soldering needed or anything. There's a video on that if you're interested. Just got to be careful, have patience. You're prying things apart, bending metal, you know, and bending it back. It will snap. But oh yeah, so I just took this top off camera. I started recording a minute ago. I was watching another video and I didn't know about the copyright thing, so this might get copyrighted too. I don't know how it feels about saxophone music in the background, but so this comes off with 5 screws. These are kind of a pain as well. These just pop off of here. I'm gonna do another more elaborate teardown on another video, but here, I'll just put them back on to show you. So I have all the screws out, so we'll see how well this actually works. But I typically I like to depress the right trigger here to make sure that, you know, I'm not snagging it or hitting anything on the way in. And there's latches along this side that we gotta pop off. So all I do is give it a little, and this one's been off before, but if yours hasn't been off before, it'll be a little bit more tough, obviously. Plastic and these meat beaters don't get along, I'll tell you that, but you learn to love it. It's probably my, I don't know, 18th or 20th controller I've cracked open in depth. But yeah, so this is just the inside of your shell. Probably gonna end up painting this one, but for now, boop, soft touch. This is my personal right here. Actually, yeah, let's run the controller tester so I can see for reference how we looking. Turn this light over here. So I just used the Xbox controller tester. I'm not sure if this will have any effect. Yeah, so it's just the basic one I have. Shout out Hot Wheels, what's up? Why you no connect? Oh, I was having an issue with this one earlier. There she goes. Yeah, so with this app, just go to new interface. And so pulling the triggers here, right, full depression, 100% left. There's also a gamepad tester you can use online. This feels different because there's no top shell, but values are all right. No drift. No, like sometimes you'll get it going like this. It'll just go back and forth super fast. It's really annoying. If you have any issues with controller movement or, you know, your player running when you're not meaning them to run, that's definitely what your issue is. There's a video on how to fix that. It's just a little time lapse on a PlayStation controller, but same concept for the Xbox. But yeah, this all buttons fully functional. I've already tested this, so I kind of know, but excuse me. That being said, everything's fully functional. It's good to test beforehand because if something's messed up, then we know that we screwed it up. All right. Oh, no. Now we can go ahead and bring this guy back down camera wise. How are we looking there? Bring the light back in. Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, so all that was the top shell came off with those 5 screws. After popping the I don't know what you want to call them, grips off, I guess. All right, but here's the guts of it. And a little pro tip. These will fall out on you so easily. Your little rockers, your vibration rockers, you see it coming out. Like this controller is pretty low, so it's got a little texture to it, holding it in right now. But as soon as you flip that upside down and go to start moving forward on the other side, better fasten them because you might rip those wires and lose the vibration. But we got rubber bands. All right. This rubber band trick is a little pro tip I learned from the YouTube video that taught me how to do this, which I'm sure there are much better ones out here, but I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, so I'm really trying to get it going. I'm gonna end up coming out with some videos of button kit replacement. This right now is just initial teardown to get all the buttons out, and then I'll end it there and probably come out with another video either this evening hopefully or tomorrow with the button swap itself and a little bit of the game plan moving forward for this controller. I sell controllers on eBay, so if I remember, I keep forgetting, I'll post a link in the description if you want to go check them out. I got a couple up there right now. Alright, so now that those are in their home, we can go ahead and take these plastics off up here. So this top part comes off right here and here, and it'll rock forward, right? So you just kind of push this guy out. Sometimes you got to pull the bumper in to, you know, alleviate whatever pressure is there. I don't really understand it, but oop, there goes one. And a lot of times it'll all come out as one, this middle piece as well as the two bumpers. Okay, very gentle. Don't be afraid if you hear some, you know, a little bit of creaking noise because you got to unsnap some things here and there. But yeah, so this is how they're all going to come out at once. See how this is pretty free right here? So I'll just show you on this open piece. I always like having the new pieces next to me if I don't know what I'm doing, so I can see how it goes back together, because it makes it a lot easier to take things apart. You can see this two little tiny dots right here. Let me make sure I'm in the screen here. So these guys, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, pretty straightforward. Hooks up top. Make sure the holes all line up. It only goes one way. That's how it's going to go on, right? So a lot of times we'll put them on together. You gotta, because it's just can be kind of a pain to work with the middle one, but that will also get gone over a little bit more in depth in the rebuild video, as well as painting. Yeah, this is a button kit right here. Triggers, D-pad, thumbsticks, ABXY buttons, start select, as well as the big Xbox button. I also have little tint strips I could put on to change the color of your from white to, you know, some kind of tinted hue when it comes on. Pretty cool. Did it with my personal, it's purple. Alright, here we go. Back to the teardown, sorry. I will probably edit that out, because I was rambling. Alright, yeah. So let's go back here. See if we can't get a little more freedom here. Where we hung up at. Yeah, so one thing I like to do is kind of take a flat head between the two and then use that little post and then the flat part. Then you got to pull it a little bit from the bottom like so, and then it'll end up coming out. Oh yeah, you see why she was a little tough to get out. Alright, and this probably is not going to be much easier. Just going to try and rock it free a little bit here, see where I'm hung up at. Okay, on the outsides. There it goes. Yes, you see that little lever? I There's a tiny little lever. Actually, I'll show you on the orange pieces because they'll be better for explaining. Let's see. Yeah, so it's this way. Yeah, so what I just pulled out was this little clip right here. This little guy. So that's what was a little hung up there, and now this other one should come off rather easy. Bingo. Alright, part set number 1 down. Now we're going to get back into our fancy screwdrivers, which is the, oh, I forgot to mention, the shell screws are T8H, I believe, with the security little hole in the middle, so don't get screwed up on that. A lot of button kits or any kind of repair kit that you buy will typically send screwdrivers you need. But once you get internal here, they're T6 with no hole in the middle. So the smaller one does not have a post on your screwdriver, and the T8 should have a post in the middle of it. I would try to focus my camera on it, but my camera's not that good, so I'm sorry. Highly recommending decent hand tools. I've got clients that over here, but I use these because the magnet's better on them, and just got them on me all the time there with my PlayStation kit rather than my electronic stuff, or my controller stuff rather than my electrical tools. Alright, so we'll pull that out, watch the little rocker there, make sure we're not messing with any wires, take note of the routing of the cabling, the wiring. And I mean, you need to be gentle, you know, but you don't have to be, like when I first started doing this, I thought, you know, if you breathe on it, you're gonna break the wire, which, don't get me wrong, I've broken my fair share and it's frustrating as heck, but you just gotta do what you gotta do. Patience is a virtue, my friends. This guy should be out now. So this comes off this little lever here. Bingo. Go ahead and blow these off. Alright, clean out any of the nasties. Just shot my straw somewhere. I don't know where that went. Alright, now we're going to take off these analog sticks. Could have done that a while ago. But we do not need to mess with the housings at all. But inside of these little teal guys, there's one for your horizontal. This is your vertical guy. It's not going to show you very well right now, but I can probably show you later. I'll show you another video. But one's for horizontal, one's for vertical, pretty much. So if you got, you know, if you're running right, that's horizontal. If you're running forward, vertical. If you got both going, you need to replace both. If it's only on your right stick, you'll need to replace just whatever's one messed up in your right stick. There's basically 4 things that could fail. 2 in each housing, and I'll go over that more in the video, not just the time lapse of the analog stick drift repair. Alright, but let's go ahead and get this D-pad out now. These are the easy parts. You know, the basic swaps. Like, I personally like doing these a lot now because it's a lot less finessing with my fat fingers. So you want to just kind of get this off from this end, and then it'll all come off. Just be careful, you know, it's very malleable metal. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's bendable. Okay, so that's just your D-pad. I always like to, you know, put things back the same way they came out. Same directions. Alright. That's that. So now let's go ahead and take on these buttons here. But I think before we do that, I'm going to put some... I'm going to go ahead and put these thumbsticks on just so I don't have these rumble packs running around out here. So with the orange, this is just a little bonus video. If you're not concerned with this, keep it pushing. If you just want to continue seeing the teardown. So I'll get to that in a minute. Alright, so if I remember right, go ahead and pop this guy in here. And this is when it kind of takes a little coordination and a lot of patience, and maybe equal amount of luck. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it should fit back in there pretty obviously, you know. There's a pretty tight squeeze, depending on the parts kit, or if you're going with factory parts. Whoop. Camera down. Nice. And we are in there. I think I have screw access now. So we'll go ahead and grab one of these floaters that my dingus self left laying on the table and not put in the magnet tray. My 6. And yeah, I also highly recommend like a decent set of needle nose and or tweezers. I use tweezers just because I have them. Same reason I'm using these screwdrivers over my Klein, just because they're in this room with my Xbox and PlayStation kits. And now these should all, you know, like I said, depending on the parts that you buy, should all go in fairly easy. If you're cross-threading something, it's wrong, or your parts are shit, which is also a viable possibility. But yeah, that's it for one housing right there. And yep, keep that wire tucked in there for now. Yeah, so those will bounce around pretty chaotically until we get the top shell back on or the bottom shell back on to kind of pinch them in. Ooh, got that one backwards. Did I? I'm not looking at this wrong. This is just backwards. Yeah, see, this is why I'm doing this now, because these rumble packs are kind of a pain in the booty. And I'm also gonna do another more elaborate video like this for the older model Xbox One controller. I can't remember the model number off the top of my head, but it is the one that looks like this. With this piece and a drop down on the faceplate rather than a one complete top faceplate. Same concepts, everything's pretty much the same. It's just different. Oops, sorry if y'all can't see that. I'm still working out this whole camera and YouTube thing, so bear with me. But I appreciate y'all if you're here. Shit. Trying to make it happen. Right, there's that screw. I do believe we're lined up. Come here, Mr. Scrooby Dooby. And these can kind of be a pain because they're magnetized as well. I believe the even newer model Xbox controllers that come with the Series S and X, I believe. Well, no, I think this is the Xbox S controller stock, but Xbox Series S and X, those controllers I believe are trigger operated by magnets. do believe I've got my buddies. I think I fixed it, but I'm not entirely sure how. If anybody has any guidance on those, let me know. Haven't quite messed around with it enough to figure it out yet. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? All right. That's orange. You glad I showed you how to do that? Y'all see why I got no friends? I've cracked myself up though, so all that matters. Everybody else just ain't funny. All right, so now we're gonna take these boards off. We're gonna take, so these are two separate boards. Your joystick board, and then I'm not entirely sure what you would call the second one. I don't really know circuitry or anything like that. I just know I take things apart and put them back together, and I've gotten pretty good at teaching myself things through YouTube, Google, various forums, Reddit. Wasted time, but hey, once you learn it, you learned it. There's a dirty controller. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause that right now though, for, we'll just say that's video 1. So I'm gonna have to chop this up pretty good.